is the eye limb, but again, not that interesting. But right opposite that valve is this rather large lesion.
Space.
We have the isnare here, which I would like to show you. Maybe you saw it already this morning. This is a combination of a snare and a needle. So if we take the needle out first, if you show full screen yep, perfect. So this is the needle that already came out, and this is actually the hex eye snare. So there's a hexagonal form snare coming out now. So it's a combination. You don't use them at the same time, of course, but it does save you time going in and out with both instruments. Okay, let's close snare and needle, and then we'll...
So I have one question, Paul. One thing that we found useful with this device is because you can do the repeated injections very quickly, you don't have to exchange your catheter, there seems to be a little bit less benefit of the long-acting agents like the hyaluronate or hydroxypropylmethylcellulose or the other agents we've talked about. And so it actually brings us back to a question of, is saline really just as good as these bulking agents if you take away the advantages of the long lifting time?
Yeah, I think in this case there's no need to use something else. I'd actually like to play around a little bit with it, as you can see. So it's really on that fold, and I think what I would normally do is try to inject distally first, because then actually it will bring it forward, and then we'll inject a second time in front, and then we can take it off, I guess. So we'll have the needle out, please. I selected saline with a little bit of blue dye and some adrenaline. Okay, the needle is out, as you can see. I'm just slowly pulling back. And like Mike said, we'll start injecting outside the... so we'll start injecting here before I push it in. Inject. Wait a moment.
Just saline with we use the blue dye as well. I tend to not use epinephrine for a couple of reasons, but I find it easier on the completely flat lesions to get the snare to seat down on the tissue. On the type 2B lesions in particular, or often the remnants of the flat remnants of the 2A lesions, it's sometimes very hard to get the snare to seat down on that flat tissue, and I find the saline a little bit easier to use. It's softer. You get a kind of a soft, like a feather pillow instead of a foam pillow.
Yeah, I think we never actually went to the bulking agent. I think this one lifts very nicely.
Yeah, that's very beautiful injection.
Probably just a little bit more, and then we're done. And then a little bit more.
The other teaching point I would make is when you get your first injection started, your next injection, you should take advantage of the fact that you've already split the submucosal layer. And your next injection should go just at the edge of your last one where the submucosal layer is already split. You don't need to go in a completely new area and reestablish that tissue plane.
Yeah, but I think we're actually in a nice position. Can you close slowly?
This is a little bit stiffer snare, so you can push it down into that pillow a little bit more aggressively than a standard snare.
Just 10 seconds to show you the end result. We removed 3 of the other small polyps, one over here, one over there, and one here somewhere. And then we also took off that little piece over here. And as you can see, this is about, probably a 3 centimeter broad-based 1S polyp, which I think in embryology...